Episode: Whispers from the Abyss. Waking up in Atlantis. Imagine this. You bolt upright in bed, heart pounding, the air thick with salt and secrets. Sunlight filters through walls that hum like living crystal. Outside your window, not your city skyline, but concentric rings of emerald land and sapphire sea, stretching to a horizon that defies maps. Towering obelisks pulse with an otherworldly glow, and in the distance, a low thrum vibrates through your bones, the heartbeat of a forgotten world. You rub your eyes. This isn't a dream. You've woken up in Atlantis. But here's the chilling twist. Tomorrow it all vanishes. One day, one night, gone. Poof, swallowed by the sea. What if you were there on the edge of oblivion? What secrets would you uncover before the waves claim you? Buckle up, true seekers. In this episode of Secret Origins, we don't just chase myths. We live them. Welcome to the Abyss, where history hides its darkest treasures. Once upon a shadowed epoch, when whispers of the gods still echoed in the halls of Athens, scholars gathered like moths to a flame around the feet of high-thinking philosophers. From the golden age of Socrates, the world began to glimpse philosophy's razor-sharp edge, how it slices through illusion to reveal the raw pulse of existence. And when Plato, that silver-tongued heir to Socrates' throne, stepped into the light, the reverence ignited like wildfire. This wasn't just a teacher. This was an oracle in philosopher's robes, his words dripping with the weight of eternity. But then, something shattered the veil. In a move that would ripple through time like a stone skipped across forbidden waters, Plato unveiled two dialogues, Timaeus and Critias, not your garden variety musings on the soul or the stars. Oh no, these were blueprint to creation itself, spun from threads of myth and memory, as if Plato had cracked open the earth's own diary. Amid the cosmic forge of worlds and gods, a single name slithered from the pages like a serpent from Eden: Atlantis. What exactly did this cryptic sage whisper about the lost realm? Lean in close, because his words aren't just history. They're a siren call from the deep. In the days of old, Plato intoned, his voice a velvet blade, the gods divided the whole earth among them by allotment. But Poseidon, lord of the tides and tempests, claimed the island of Atlantis as his prize. There, he sired children with a mortal woman of fierce beauty. Settling them in a corner of paradise I shall unveil. And unveil he did, painting a canvas so vivid, so impossible, it hurled the world of historians into a maelstrom of doubt and desire. Plato didn't mince words. This wasn't some fairy tale Hamlet. Atlantis was a colossus, a titan sprawled over against the pillars of Heracles, that mythical gateway we now call Gibraltar, dwarfing Libya and Asia combined. It was no mere landmass. It was a portal, a stepping stone to uncharted archipelagos, and an endless ocean where the Mediterranean lolled like a sleepy harbor in its shadow. Within those fabled straits, Atlantis' empire clawed across Europe to the wilds of Tyrrhenia and down Africa's flank to Egypt's sun-baked sands. But wait, the plot thickens like blood in the surf. Plato claimed this lore wasn't his invention, but a 9,000-year-old heirloom smuggled from the veiled temples of Egyptian priests to the ears of Solon, the Greek statesman around 600 BCE. Solon, that bridge between worlds, carried it home like a thief in the night. And the tech? Oh, the tech. It reads like a blueprint from a rogue AI's fevered code. Canals carved by divine geometry. Walls sheathed in orichalcum, a fiery metal that gleamed like captured sunset and hummed with untamed power. Armies clad in bronze and thunder. Fleets that danced on the waves like specters. This was no Bronze Age backwater. This was a hyper-civilization, a symphony of stone and starlight that made our silicon dreams look like cave scrawls. Scholars clawed at their beards in fury. How could man of Plato's caliber, architect of the Republic, whisperer of ideals, peddle such fevered fancy? Was this gold spun from philosophy's loom, or a map to a buried truth? Here's the rub that keeps sleep at bay. Plato wove Atlantis into his tale with the cold precision of a cartographer, name-dropping real titans like Asia, Europe, and Libya to anchor its sprawl. This great island lay over against the pillars of Heracles, in extent greater than Libya and Asia put together. Why tether a metaphor to the world's bones? Skeptics sneered it was allegory, a cautionary yarn about hubris, empires crumbling under their own weight. But the heretics, those midnight historians with salt-crusted scrolls, fired back. What if it's no fable? What if Atlantis breathed, a utopian juggernaut that clashed with fledgling Athens in a war of worlds, only to meet its doom in a cataclysm of quakes and floods? Plato's chilling coda seals the enigma, but afterwards there occurred violent earthquakes and floods. And in a single day and night of misfortune, all your warlike men in a body sank into the earth, and the island of Atlantis in like manner disappeared in the depths of the sea. Poof! From pinnacle of progress to ocean's crypt, in the blink of a vengeful god's eye, mainstream gatekeepers wave it off as myth, a philosopher's poetic flourish. But can you bury a tale this detailed under just so? No, because from the silt of forgotten digs to the twisted helix of megalithic DNA, the clues bubble up like ghosts from a grave. Precision-cut stones defying modern tools. Crystal lattices echoing in ancient lore. Whispers in indigenous epics that mirror Plato's blueprint. Atlantis wasn't a campfire yarn. It was a warning etched in the earth's own scars. And proof? Its people weren't ragged survivors scraping flint. They were alchemists of reality, wielding wonders that still mock our labs. But enough shadows. Let's plunge you into the heart of the mystery. Not as a dusty scholar, but as a wide-eyed wanderer. Picture it. Dawn breaks, and you stir in a bed that cradles like liquid silk. Your eyes flutter open to a vista that steals your breath. Atlantis, alive and electric, its concentric citadels of land and water spiraling like a cosmic mandala. To your left, alabaster walls catch the dawn in prismatic fire, while crystal domes throb with a subtle, sapphire pulse. You step onto a balcony of luminous stone, and the air sings. A faint harmonic weave, like wind chimes forged from stars. Welcome, traveler. You've crossed the veil. But remember, this paradise has an expiration date. Savor it, before the sea hungers. Your abode? A masterpiece of living architecture, hewn from orichalcum veined marble that shifts hues with the sun. Fiery crimson at dawn, cool lunar silver by night. No clunky thermostats here. The walls breathe, drawing ambient frequencies to cradle you in perfect equilibrium, warding off the chaos of cosmic static. Step out, and the streets unfold like a dreamweaver's loom. No honking gridlock, no smog-choked frenzy. Instead, sleek magnetic pods hover on invisible ley lines, propelled by the Earth's own magnetic whisper, ferrying souls in silent grace. Time doesn't tick here. It dances, a rhythmic tide where haste is heresy, and every glance reveals sacred geometry etched into the cobblestones. Streets aligned to Orion's belt, arches curving in Fibonacci spirals that soothe the soul on sight. Science and spirit? In Atlantis, they're lovers entwined, not rivals at war. The air shimmers with intent, functional beauty laced with the divine. But your pulse quickens as you drift toward the city's throbbing core. The Energy Hall. Its walls don't just stand, they resonate. A cavernous sanctum where colossal crystals, some as tall as redwoods, siphon the planet's electromagnetic fury. No filthy coal or fickle oil. This is pure, primordial power funneled with surgical elegance to illuminate boulevards, levitate spires, and here's the shiver. Subtly attune your very mind. Quartz, we know today, bursts electricity from pressure alone. But Atlantis? They made it conscious, a network threading from Egypt's veiled obelisks to Tibet's hidden caves, Mesoamerica's jade thrones. Step closer, and a low hum kisses your skin, recalibrating frayed nerves like a lover's sigh. Crazy? Modern piezo-tech echoes it faintly. But here, it's the city's lifeblood, and yours. Hunger stirs? Not the slop of drive-thrus, but frequency-kissed feasts from gardens where sound waves coax fruits to jewel-like ripeness, vibrations tuning soil to symphonies of growth. A bite of nectar-dripping orb, and vitality floods your veins like liquid starlight. But true wonder awaits in the healing chambers. No sterile white coats or bitter draughts. Enter, and harmonic waves cascade over you, a choral balm of sound and hue. Disease? A mere discord in your symphony. Healers, clad in robes of woven light, wield color beams to knit flesh, sonic scalpels to excise shadows from the aura. No scalpels scar the skin. Telepathic probes divine the soul's fractures. temples double as clinics, incense curling like spectral fingers, silence a poultice for the spirit, and aging, a quaint illusion, slip into a rejuvenation pod, a crystalline cocoon pulsing low-frequency elixirs, and watch telomeres unwind like forgotten scrolls, DNA blooming with ancestral echoes, centuries added not with potions, but remembrance, epigenetics by another name, unlocking the codex of lives unlived. Education? Forget rote drudgery. Schools are starlit sanctums where fledglings master telepathy's whisper, geometry's sacred curves, astronomy's veiled prophecies, even dream-weaving across astral seas. Tests? None. Awakening is the curriculum, potential the prize. Our world stars for this. Imagine classrooms pulsing with possibility, not pressure. Yet power's shadow looms. Plato's school trembled here, a confederation of kings, of great and marvelous power, lords over isles and continents, their scepters twinned to crystalline spires that wove the grid. Anti-gravity sails on ether winds, matter molded by thought alone. Tesla's coils? Child's play. Atlantis was a tower, broadcasting boundless energy. Lights without filament, waters defying gravity, chariots silent as owls. Pollution? A sin unspoken. Harmony was a harvest. Sound itself bent to their will. Waves of resonance levitated megaliths. Tune stoned to fluid song. Voice unlocked vaults guarding forbidden lore. The pyramid's ghosts? Puma Punka's precision? Yanaguni's submerged labyrinth? Echoes of Atlantean export. Perhaps sonic sorcery smuggled across seas. Governance? No iron-fisted tyrants, but merits forge. Rulers earn thrones through trials of intellect and insight. Councils blending sage logic with CRS intuition. Priests, boyhood initiates in astral arts, alchemists of the unseen. Wove policy from universal law. Psychic prowess as commonplace as breath. Duality reigned, balance or bust. Now, sink into the rhythm. Dawn greets you through crystal panes that filter chaos, amplifying serenity. Breakfast, vibrational elixirs, fruits attuned to your aura's hum. Commute, a pod's embrace, skimming canals or burrowing subaquatic veins to distant shores. Work, your soul's echo, sculpting harmonics as architect, channeling stars as navigator, healing rifts as empath. No grind, contributions grace. Leisure, immersive rites, dance that summons rains, music that maps multiverses, meditation syncing heartbeats citywide. Divinity weaves through all, morning crystal attunements, dusk's resonance ablutions. Even meals, grateful incantations over bounty, every morsel a sacrament. And oh, the world was their oyster. Navigators red ley lines like lovers' palms, magnetic holes surfing Earth's grid. The Pyre Reef's enigma, that ice-free Antarctic sketch from the 1500s, a pilfered Atlantean chart, Olmec heads with African echoes, Peruvian ziggurats kissing Giza's kin, Tiwanaku's H-blocks defying drills. Coincidence? Or diaspora the damned, refugees seeding Thoth's Nile wisdom, Quetzalcoatl's feather flights, Viracocha's Andean odes, bearded wanderers in the waves, gifting glyphs and galaxies. The Dogon Star-Lords, Atlantean exiles, perhaps scattering cosmic crumbs before the deluge. Death? No thief in the night, but a doorway draped in silk. Reincarnation's wheel turn known, past life veils parted by priestly rites, karma's ledger balanced in eternal ledgers. But prophet's warnings slither like smoke. Greed serpent uncoils, wisdom wanes, imbalance beckons the abyss. For even titans falter. Atlantis, that jewel in Poseidon's crown, grew drunk on its dazzle. Moral rot festered, avarice eclipsing harmony. Tech twisted tyranny. The gods, those cosmic arbiters, turned their gaze and unleashed hell. Quakes rent the rings asunder. Floods roared like vengeful leviathans. One day, one night, the symphony silenced. But here's the hook that haunts. Plato's timeline pins at 9,600 BC, syncing with flood lore worldwide. Earthquake alone? Or the great deluge's divine hammer? Punishing hubris in a global purge? Did Atlantis spread its embers? In Egypt's Sphinx eyes, Peru's Nazca lines, Malta's oracle caves before the swallow? The truth? It murmurs from the depths, daring divers of the mind to listen. Was it myth or the mirror we fear? Proof we're not apex, but echoes of fallen stars? Drop your theories in the comments. Flood or fable? Survivor or sinker? Smash the like if Atlantis calls to you. Subscribe for more veils torn asunder, and dive into the next abyss. Prehistoric ghost civilizations. Cities that evaporated like morning mist. Keep questioning. Kindred spirits. The sea keeps its secrets, but not from us, until the waves whisper again.